Most guys try to connect with her, try to ask her interview style boring questions, but you're now attracting her. And if you leave that interaction on that high note, she's gonna remember that high note the next time that she goes to text you. What's up, man? Patrick James here, and in this video, I wanna give you a good first text that you can try out the next time you get a girl's phone number for the first time, especially a girl that you've met in person. And if you're anything like me, I know that when you try this text for the first time, it's gonna quickly become one of your go-tos like it did for me. And the best thing about this text is that it makes you immediately stand out from any other guy who's going to text her. So let me hit on that real quick, and then I'm gonna tell you what this text is, because it's a little bit unexpected and it's a little bit outside the norm of what you're used to sending a girl when you get her phone number. So here's the thing, man. When you get her number, you have to understand that any girl that you meet, especially in person, because again, what's the whole point of everything that we talk about on this channel is to get to know her in person. Because if you're trying to build a connection over text, it's not gonna work. Because here's the thing, man, and I'll make another video about this, talking about the tension checkpoints in every single seduction and every male to female interaction. There's gotta be these checkpoints that you go through. And the first one that most guys don't understand is you got to get her attention. Now, here's the worst part. When you go to text her, she's gonna be forming two different impressions of you, whether you like it or not. One is gonna be the impression of you in person that led her to be okay with giving you her phone number and potentially see you again in the future. But the second one is gonna be her impression of you over text. Now, here's the thing, man. Think about any person that you've met in your own life who is like really cool in person, but then when they go to text you, they either text you too much and it's kind of overbearing, or they just never respond and it's like one word answers. Does that, or does it not, change your impression of them, your feeling, your gut feeling that comes up when you see their name pop up on your phone? Doesn't it change it a little bit if you don't like the way that they're texting you? Yes, of course. Same thing goes with the women that you're texting. So if you're super charming in person, it's very easy that you're gonna drop the ball over text, especially when you are now one of the many guys who has her phone number. And so this text is gonna do what I highly recommend that any good first text is gonna do, which is one, it's gonna make you immediately stand out from every other guy who's also texting her. And two, it's gonna put you on her radar, not just her radar of guys who have her number, but guys that she's actually interested in seeing again in the near future. And three, it's going to really set the right frame to frame you as the buyer, but also make you seem non-needy. And it's also gonna get her, entice her to wanna respond. Because here's the best part, man, it's a non-needy text. And every single time that I've done this with a girl, she ends up texting me first, next. And so you'll see what I mean. So here is the text, and it's really simple. When you reach that point in the conversation, in the interaction where you're going to exchange phone numbers with her, you know, that awkward moment where you're like, all right, so here's my phone, put your number in it, or vice versa. One, you should go into that interaction, especially when you're about to get her number and you know that you can't continue this interaction, so you have to get her number, so you're gonna see her again in the near future. You should already know going into that conversation, how am I gonna get this girl's number if we reach that point, right? So be aware of this, because if you go into the wilderness without a map, you're gonna get lost every single time. And so I know, and I've tested this, and I'll kind of let you know what works and what's worked for me, which is, obviously, when you get a girl's number, obviously this is gonna be important, because that's the moment that she's deciding, am I attracted to this guy enough or not to give this guy my phone number, right? And so in that moment, you gotta know, are you gonna give your phone number to her so she can type it in her phone? Are you gonna type her phone number into your phone? Or are you gonna give her your phone to her so she can type it in your phone, or vice versa, right? So there's a couple of things here, and if you're unsure, then you're gonna fumble the phone. You're gonna go, well, you wanna pull out your phone? Or, oh, I can get out my phone. So just avoid that whole awkwardness going into it, and just know, all right, cool, put your number in my phone. That simple, all right? So when you reach that point in the conversation and you hand your phone to her and she's putting her phone, her number into your phone, obviously she's gonna go, especially if you have an iPhone, she's gonna create a contact, she's gonna put her name in there, she's gonna type in her phone number. So when she's going to do that, all you have to do is say, hey, when you get done typing in your number, go ahead and send yourself the cheesiest pickup line you've ever heard. And that right there is the best first text. Now, it's a really sneaky text, because here's the thing. She's sending it to herself. one. And she's sending it from your phone. So that way you now know that it's actually her phone number and you can see that it got delivered yourself. And 3, because it's coming from a random number and it's a cheesy pickup line, the next day when she probably forgot about this interaction, especially if you approached her at a bar or a nightclub or on the street or in a grocery store or in a coffee shop, wherever you met this girl, wherever you got her phone number, the next day when she's trying to she's going through her text and she sees this random number that sends her a really cheesy pickup line, she's immediately gonna have a gut reaction, just like anybody going, oh wait, what is this? What is that cheesy pickup line? And then she's gonna realize real quick, and this is all happening in an instant, real quick, oh yeah, that's that guy from last night who I had that really fun interaction and he made me send this cheesy pickup line to myself. Now here's the cool part about that. When she's going through that quick mental thought process of realizing, oh, what is this text? And then realizing, oh, that's the guy from yesterday. One, she immediately remembers your exact conversation. How many times have you gone to text a girl where she didn't respond and it was likely because she completely forgot who you were? All right, it happens more often than you think. So this immediately overcomes that. 2, it's gonna be a cheesy pickup line that kind of brings up those emotions, but the most important part here is in the moment when she does send that cheesy pickup line to herself, if it's good, that's great. If it's bad, that's great. Because regardless of what she sends herself, you can still now tease her and bust her chops. Wait, that's the cheesiest pickup line you know? Geez, what are you, a virgin? Oh man, me and you are never gonna get along. Are you one of those church-going girls who's like goody goody two shoes? I like that there's still girls like you in this world. It's cute. Right? If you tease her about something like that, you can tease her in any number of ways. You're setting yourself up for success. So remember, 1, you know exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna hand your phone to her so she can type it into your phone. You're gonna avoid that awkward part of the conversation where you're trying to figure out who's typing what number into what phone. Am I typing it in or are you typing it in? You're gonna avoid that altogether with having that plan going in. You know what you're gonna do. 2nd, you're gonna tell her as she's typing in her number, send yourself the cheesiest pickup line you've ever heard, or the cheesiest pickup line you know. And we already talked about kind of the future pacing of what could potentially happen the next day, and more often than not, it happens to me more often than not, and this actually became one of my crutches, one of my go-tos, because I started using it every single time because they would end up texting me first, and when she texts me first because she just saw the next day or 2 days later that cheesy pickup line from this random number and then she remembers that interaction, now it's almost like we're continuing that same fun, playful interaction. And 3, in that moment when she types it in, no matter what she says, you go, wait, that's the cheesiest pickup line you know? God, you're so innocent. It's cute. All right, now you're teasing her, you're setting all the right frames, which leads you down the second tension checkpoint I mentioned earlier in this video. The first one, you got to get her attention. You got her attention. And the second one is attraction. Most guys try to connect with her, try to ask her interview style boring questions, but you're now attracting her. And if you leave that interaction on that high note, she's gonna remember that high note the next time that she goes to text you, all right? And that's gonna really help you set the right impressions, the right frames, not only in person, but also over text and over the phone. That way, she's more likely to wanna see you again in the near future. So that said, if you like this video, if you got any value out of this, even just one gold nugget, then go ahead and drop a like on this video. And also, if you're not already subscribed to the Raw Dating Advice family, hit that subscribe button right now. And before we go here, man, I have a book. It's called 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. This is a physical book. It's not just an ebook, right? But the ebook actually comes as a bonus to any guy who picks it up. So if you want this book, it's going to teach you 107 proven ways to create tension, conversational tension that makes her attracted to you in the moment, a lot like the one that I just gave you in this video. In fact, I think that is one of the chapters in this book. Yep, it is. It's called The Best First Text, and it's actually secret number, let it load, 26. So if you liked this video, or if you're curious about all the 106 other ways to create attraction in a conversation, get this book. It's currently free. All I ask is that you help cover the small shipping and handling costs, and we'll ship this book to you anywhere in the world. And like I said, you'll get the ebook and a few other bonuses as a digital download bonus that you'll get immediate access to. That way you don't have to wait for the mail to ship it to you before you can start going through this. So go to howtogetthegirlnow.com if you want to get this book. And last thing before I get out of here, I just started a new podcast. It's called #Raw and Relentless. It is the next extension of the #Raw brand. We got #Raw Dating Advice, which you're currently watching right now. Now I have my long form podcast where I can talk about a lot of things with a lot of different guests, even if it's not just dating specific. So I would really love it if you went and clicked the link. I'm leaving a link below this video to the podcast so you can go check it out on YouTube. It's a second YouTube channel, my second YouTube channel. It's also streamed everywhere where podcasts are hosted. So go check it out and drop a like, drop a review, and I would sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, love that. So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.